Yeah, and here now, Bruce Klingner. He is a former CIA Korea Deputy Division Chief and Heritage Foundation Senior Research Fellow. And, it's interesting because I think back to the State of the Union when President Trump talked about the issue of North Korea. And, of course, he stuck to script, but he said, look, our hostages have come home. Nuclear testing has stopped. He said that, and there has not been a missile launch in more than 15 months. But the issue of denuclearization and the Koreans, can we believe North Korea?
Well, North Korea still has not agreed to the UN definition of what denuclearization is, and the statement by the U.S. official is pretty startling because it's consistent with the heads of the U.S. intelligence agencies, which President Trump disagreed with. Also, it contradicts several statements by Secretary Pompeo, where he claimed that Chairman Kim had agreed not only to the UN definition of denuclearization, but had agreed to complete verifiable, irreversible dismantlement. So I think the administration's trying to lower the bar for expectations as to what will happen in Hanoi.
Well, and intelligence officials have warned in particular that they believe that North Korea will not be willing to give up all of their nuclear capabilities, missiles, whatever you want to call it, because that is the heart of their regime and basically their protection in the area.
Well, we're hoping through negotiations to achieve that. We've had numerous diplomatic attempts in the past. All the previous agreements have failed. That doesn't mean we don't try again. But, clearly this statement is at odds with what the administration was claiming before. Yeah. And since the Singapore summit, we've had no denuclearization. In fact, North Korea continues to nuclearize, and they've expanded and refined their production facilities for fissile material, reentry vehicles, missiles, and mobile missile launchers.
Where does China play into all of this? We're in the middle of some pretty intense negotiations on trade with the Chinese. Officials from Beijing are actually here in Washington. Do you think that that is going to be a sticking point in the China-U.S. relationship? Because the Chinese have always seemed to have kind of a friendly arm around the North Koreans, in particular because they get labor. And also there's question marks about whether or not the money is being funneled through China into North Korea.
I think the U.S.-China trade relations discussions, as well as North Korea, I think will be separate lanes in the road. China's role in the past has generally been acting like North Korea's lawyer in the UN Security Council and advocating a reduction of sanctions or additional exemptions and pushing back from military action. In many ways, South Korea, our ally, is doing that now. They're pushing for reduced sanctions or more exemptions.
That's very true. Real quick, last question. Looking ahead to Hanoi next week, February 27th, 28th, this is the summit. From what we're hearing from the administration, it's going to be kind of the same series of events that we saw in Singapore, the handshake, the sit-down dinner, low-level officials having side meetings as well. Did you think that those meetings in Singapore were fruitful? And if it's going to be the same play-by-play in Vietnam next week, is that going to give us a new result, Bruce?
Right. We're certainly hoping for more than Singapore. The U.S. made three major mistakes in Singapore. We agreed once again to a vague, poorly written document. We unilaterally canceled military exercises. We've canceled 9 military exercises since June. And also there's the glorification of Kim Jong-un. Someone who's on the U.S. sanctions list for crimes against humanity is being described as honorable and courageous and loves his people. So we're looking for more substance from the Hanoi summit than we had in Singapore.
I will say Mike Pompeo made it clear to Maria this morning that those sanctions will not be lifted until we're satisfied with the North Koreans. Bruce, thank you very much.
All right.